Um, Welcome to Madijibo Math channel. Today we shall be looking at solving linear exponential functions. Without wasting time, just look at what we have on the board today. So we are going to look at linear exponential functions. Okay, exponential functions generally they are in the form of, the goal is to see that whatever you have, both like the left hand side, the right hand side, your base, the numbers, because you have what we call index, and we have powers, and of course we have the base. So it has to be in this form: a raised to the power x equals to b raised to the power, a raised to the power y. Okay, so when you have a situation like this one, we call it an exponential function, meaning you have a base and it raised to a power. Okay, so your goal is to see that the base on the left hand side is the same as the base on the right hand side, and once you have that, the next thing you have to do, you cancel them and just equate what remains, the index. Okay, so in this case, this and this goes, and we have x equals to y, which becomes your answer. Okay, so those are the type of equations we shall be looking at today. Okay, but for linear equations, because I've already solved simultaneous exponential equations leading to exponential equations in form of simultaneous equations, exponential functions in form of quadratic, of course we shall be looking at that as well. So for linear, you only have x or y or whatever variable having an answer just one. Okay, and the highest power for x or whatever variable is 1. So let's look at the first one here, which says 3 raised to the power x plus 1 equals to 9 raised to the power 4. So now you have to look at these 3 and 9. Which of them is the smaller? Okay, 3 is the smaller. So you have to see that 9 also has a base, which is 3. Okay, so in order for us to do that, if we say 3 raised to the power x plus 1 equals 2. So what power can we raise to 3? That will give us 9, and that's 3 square. So 3 raised to the power 2, and this is multiplied by 4. So your next thing you have to do, you multiply, this becomes 3 raised to the power x plus 1 equals to 3 raised to the power 8. Now you have the base being the same, they cancel each other. Okay, so we are left with, now we equate the index, plus 1 equals to 8. You need x, so x equals to 8 minus 1, so x equals to 7. And always in terms of equation, because this means the left hand side equals to the right hand side, if you plug in this value into this, you will get the same. The left hand side has to be the same as the right hand side. Okay, so it means this will be 3 raised to the power 7 plus 1, which is 3 raised to the power 8, and this is 3 raised to the power, remember, is 2 times 4, so which is 3 raised to the power 8 equals to 3 raised to the power 8. So your right hand side must equals to the left hand side, or the left hand side must equals to the right hand side. Okay, so the next problem says if 3 roots x equals to 9, we are asked to find x. Now the main thing here is for us just to change this one, roots. So any number is the same as that number raised to the power half. Okay, so it means 3 raised to the power x raised to the power half. Okay, which is equals to 9. So now let's change 9, because we have to see that the base are the same. So this is 3 raised to the power x raised to the power half equals to, this becomes 3 raised to the power 2. Okay, so now what we have to do, this and this cancel, so we have x raised to the power half equals to 2. Okay, so if we want to take out half here, what do? We power it again by 2. So it means if this is powered by 2 here, this again has to be powered by 2. Whatever you do on the left hand side must be done on the right hand side. So this means when a power is raised to a power, you multiply them, means x raised to the power half multiplied by 2. equals to 2 raised to the power 2. Okay, so this becomes x raised to the power, this and this cancel, so it becomes 1. 2 raised to the power 2 becomes 4. X raised to the power 1 is same as x, so x equals to 4. And substitute again this into this, you get the same answer. You have 3 root 4. 3 root 4 is 2, so 3 raised to the power 2 will be 9 equals to 9 here. Okay, so your answer is x raised to the power 4. Okay, I guess that's very simple. So the next problem says 3 raised to the power x minus 2 equals 1 upon 81. Okay, so this is a bit different from the ones we've already solved. So what you have to do here, the first thing you have to do, you have to get rid of the fraction. Okay, so changing this fraction to just a whole number this becomes 3 raised to the power x minus 2 equals to this becomes 81 raised to the power minus 1. Okay, remember when we have 1 over 2 is the same as 2 raised to the power minus 1. Okay, so that's it. So if you want to change this, it's the same as 1 upon 2 raised to the power 1, which is the same as 1 upon 2. Okay, so if you want to change this one for it to become 2 raised, for it to become a whole number like this, okay, instead of a fraction, you have to raise it to a power minus 1. Okay, for other cases, let's say if it's 1 upon 3 raised to the power 2, this becomes 3 raised to the power minus 2. Okay, so the power takes a negative sign, so this means 1 upon 3 raised to the power 2 again. Okay, so that's one thing we should know. Yeah, fine. So now the next thing we have to do, we have to change 81. So we have to express this in index form, wherein the base has to be the same as this. Okay, so this becomes 3 raised to the power x minus 2 equals to, now 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 will give you 81. So meaning 3 raised to the power 4 multiplied by minus 1. Okay, 3 times 3, 9. 9 times 3 is 27. 27 times 3 will give you 81. Okay, so therefore this becomes 3 raised to the power x minus 2 equals to, now you multiply 4 times this becomes 3 raised to the power minus 4. Now this and this are the same, you cancel them, you are left with x minus 2 equals to minus 4. Okay, you need x, so x is transposed, this becomes minus 4 plus 2. So x becomes minus 2, because when you subtract, the bigger number carries the sign. So x equals to minus 2. If you put it here, you are going to have the same answer. So the next one says 8 raised to the power x equals to 0.25. Okay, so when you have situations like this again a bit different from the ones we solved. The first thing you have to do here is to change this decimal to a fraction. Then from a fraction, you change it now to a whole number with a power negative. Okay, so this becomes 8 raised to the power x equals to, now for you to change this one to a fraction, you have to look at the numbers after the decimal point. After the decimal point, you have two numbers. Which of the numbers that ends with zeros, okay, that do have 2 zeros, and that's 100. Okay, so this becomes, so you have 25 divided by 100. Okay, so if you divide this, you are going to have again 0.25. That's one thing you should know. So now you break this one down, so this becomes 8 raised to the power x equals to 25 here 1 into this becomes 4, so this becomes 1 over 4. Your next step is for you to change this one. This becomes 8 raised to the power x equals to 4 raised to the power minus 1. Okay, now which number you can express this one? Now remember, 4 of course is the lowest here, but that does not mean you have to see that the base here again should be 4, because there's no number you can multiply. You cannot multiply any, you cannot raise to any number by 4 for you to have 8. So in that case, you have to look at which of the numbers you know that can go into 8, that you can raise to a power that will give you 8, and you can raise to another power, you can have 4. Okay, and the number there will be 2. So this becomes 2 raised to the power 3 multiplied by x equals to 2 raised to the power 2. Okay, multiplied by minus 1. So now the next thing you have to do, this becomes 2, multiply this becomes 3x equals to, this becomes 2 raised to the power minus 2. Now you see, the base are the same, so you cancel this, you have 3x equals to minus 2. You need x, you divide both by 3, this by 3, x, so therefore your x becomes minus 2 over 3. Okay, if you plug this one again here, you are going to have the same answer as the right hand side. Okay, so that's it. Okay, so the next one says cube 3 root 3 all raised to the power x plus 7 equals to cube root 3 again all raised to the power 2x plus 3. Okay, so now when you look at this one, you have root 3 here, and of course you have root 3 here. But again, you have this one. So how do you change this one to a fraction? I mean to a power which has a fraction. That's the thing. So this one becomes this one. Okay. So root 3 is the same as 3 raised to the power half. So this becomes 3 raised to the power half. Then everything here by x plus 7. Okay. Equals to the same thing here. Cube root is the same as 1 over 3. And everything here by 2x plus 3. Okay. Now, you know when a power is raised to another power, you multiply them. So this becomes 3. You multiply this, 1 multiplied by x plus that becomes x plus 7 divided by 2 equals to. This again the same thing. This becomes 3. 1 multiplied by this becomes 2x plus 3 divided by 3. Okay. Now, you have 3 here, 3 here. So this and this cancel. Remember, these are powers. So this becomes x plus 7 divided by 2 equals to 2x plus 3 divided by 3. Now, the LCM between 2 and 3 is 6. So therefore, multiply both of this equation, both the left hand side and the right hand side, by 6 instead of you cross multiplying, which is the same thing. Okay, if you decide to cross multiply. So you multiply this by 6, then you multiply this by 6. Okay, so now I can say 2 here, 1, 2 here is 3. So this becomes 3 multiplied by that becomes 3x plus 21. Multiply this again equals to this again 3 here 1, 3 here 2. 2 multiplied by this becomes 4x plus this becomes 6. All you have to do now, you collect like terms. Okay, so 3x minus 4x equals to. So it transpose this one, and this one again becomes 6 minus 21. Okay, so if you subtract this becomes minus x equals to, and that becomes minus 15. Okay, minus cancel minus, so we have x as 15. If you plug this again into this equation, you are going to have the same answer. Okay, so that's it. Now remember, just use this one and plug the 15. 2 times this 2 times 15 becomes 30. 30 plus this becomes 33. So the whole of this becomes 3 raised to 1 upon 3 multiplied by 33. So this and this becomes 11. So 3 raised to the power 11. Check again this one. This is 15. 15 plus 7 becomes 22. So you have 3 half multiplied by 22. 2 here 1, 2 here is 11. So you have 3 raised to 11, 3 raised to 11. Okay, which means our answer is correct. X equals to 15. Okay, so let's look at the next. Okay, so let's look at the next problem, next question. Okay, which says 3 roots, another root, a raised to the power 6, b raised to the power minus 4 equals to a raised to the power x, b raised to the power 2y. Okay, so for this again, the same method applies. So the first thing, try to change this guy here inside. Remember I told you when you have a square root by a number, it's the same as that number raised to the power half. So let's start with this. So we have 3 roots. Now we change this one. This becomes a raised to the power 6, b raised to the power minus 4, everything here raised to the power half. Okay, so that's the first step. Equals to, let's write this one, and b raised to the power 2y. Okay, now the next thing again, you have to change this one. Remember, cube root means 1 upon 3. Okay, so this becomes a raised to the power 6, b raised to the power minus 4, everything here by half, and this again by 1 upon 3. Okay, so this becomes a raised to the power x, b raised to the power 2y. Now, I've told you, when a power is raised to another power, you multiply them. So this becomes a raised to the power 6, b raised to the power minus 4, everything here, this and this becomes 1 upon 6, which equals to a raised to the power x, b raised to the power 2y. Okay, so now this again, these are all powers. So when a power again is raised to another power, what do? You multiply them. Okay, so this becomes a raised to the power 6 multiplied by 1 over 6 times b raised to the power minus 4 multiplied by 1 over 6 equals to a raised to the power x, b raised to the power 2y. Now, this is like this is the numerator and denominator. This again, numerator and denominator. So you multiply this, becomes 6 divided by 6. So that becomes a raised to the power 6 divided by 6 multiplied by this again, minus 4 times this becomes b raised to the power minus 4 divided by 6 equals to a raised to the power x, b raised to the power 2y. Okay, so the next step, you cancel this, so this becomes a raised to the power 1. This becomes b, 2 here 1, 2 here 2 times, 2 here 3. So this becomes minus 2 over 3 equals to a raised to the power x, b raised to the power 2y. So this is somehow different from the ones we solved already. So here you can see that we have AB, we have AB. So you compare the same numbers, okay? So meaning for a raised to the power 1 equals to a raised to the power x, because you need x, so this and this cancel, so 1 becomes x, therefore your x becomes 1, which is the answer, and this is b raised to the power minus 2 over 3 equals to b raised to 2y. This and this cancel, so we are left with minus 2 over 3 equals to 2y. So if, of course, you divide this by 1, because the numerator here has 2, the numerator here as well has 2, this and this cancel. Okay, so you are left with minus 1 over 3 equals to y over 1. Okay, so if I want to get rid of this 3, the LCM here is 3, so I multiply both sides by 3, I multiply here by 3. This and this goes, so I'm left with minus 1 equals to, this becomes 3y. Oh my God, do I even need to do that? so basically, so I'm left with minus 1 over 3 here equals to y. So therefore, my y becomes minus 1 over 3, right? So you don't need to cross multiply again, but because at the end you are looking for y already. So that becomes y equals to minus 1 over 3. So hence your x is 1 and your y is minus 1 over 3. So those are your answers, okay? Fine. So the final one, let's look at the final question. Okay, so let's look at the last problem for this video. Okay, so